clarified. A student can only receive math credit once from one of these electives. So this would be a fourth and two, feel free to correct me.
It is for the fourth year,
Yes.
because the first three are mandated by the state, and this is, so we encourage 4 years, but this can be an option for 4th year, as well as business and computers, yeah, computer science can use those, so there's math-oriented other options as well. But for the 4th year, but the state has 3 traditional years that you have to cover, so you cannot use 2 accounting classes to count as 2 math classes.
Right, yeah, that was the one point I wanted to make sure. So you can't, let's say, take 2 years of math and then package it with 2 years of accounting and call it a day.
Exactly. Or in accounting and computer science, you can't do that. You have to have 3 traditional years of that.
What do you mean by two? So it has to be algebra 1, geometry, and algebra 2?
Calculus. At a minimum, but a student that might start in 9th grade as algebra 2 has to be algebra 2 pre-calculus and either a province stats or a calculus class. Once you start high school is where you start the classes. It's not a matter of algebra 1 and geometry. They were
Right.
prior to 9th grade.
I get that. Right. So when did it become, I'm just, because I graduated in 1982, so it's been a while, but
It has been a
I
4th
took
year.
accounting because I
Yes.
dropped algebra 2 because it just wasn't my thing. So that gave me my math credit. So that's why I'm saying, and it was not my 4th year of math. We only had 3 years. We were not required to do 4 years of math.
So as I said, the state says that you have to have 3 traditional years of math. Monroe, this is gonna really date me, since the time that I started, which was very, very long time ago, actually before Mr. Muller was even born. Possible. It's close, so it's a close match.
Now
It
you-
might have been 1 or 2. Anyway, my understanding, if I remember right, when I started in Monroe, it was a 4th year. But if it wasn't the very first time I started, it might have been within the first 5 years or so that I was here, which would be going back 35 years or so.
So we probably have no one, and I know, I don't want to turn your accounting class into a math discussion, but, so that we probably have no one around who knows why Monroe does 4 years of math requirement
I
instead.
think because the idea is to encourage students to take more math if they can, because for the college entrance years, that's why there was a time, we never used to have a dynamics of trig class. We started that class because we want to encourage students to take 4 years of math.
Okay, so I hear what you're saying.
Right.
Right, so, my point is that we may have students who want to go down the arts class, the humanities, they want to take more English, they'd rather study more history or more social studies, or, I'm looking at both of your compadres, and having to take that 4th year of math, which is not a state requirement, just concerns me. I was doing a little research and, about it, so it maybe not concerns me. I think 4 years of math, that's great. But if I'm not a student who's ever going to have to do, y plus x equals, z, although, it is everywhere. You just don't see it as algebra. It just is everywhere. But, I want to study history, or I want to be a writer, and I literally don't need that. That's what, if I'm a good writer, that's what I'm going to hire my accountant to do. So that's my point, is like, I see we've had discussions here at the table about how kids can't get into classes that they want to get into. And I forget the last one last month. It was something, I can't remember, but yeah, so it was a computer science class. So yeah, it was, but we have kids who might want to get into other classes and they can't even attempt to try and take another class because we're forcing them to take 4 years of math. And I'm ready for you, Facebook. Have at it.